Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners, macabre murders and captivating crimes from across the centuries, and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tales that we tell. And it's episode 250.
Look at that.
The end of season 5, people.
End of 5 bloody years.
5 years.
It's insane.
It is quite insane, but I'm very proud of us.
Absolutely.
The big five, the big five.
As we, should be very pleased with that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful podcast, wonderful growth of the community. Things have just been great.
Just been wonderful all round.
It really has. And everyone's amazing. We should take this moment to start and say how much we appreciate everyone who listens to the Poisoner's Cabinet, everyone who's listened right from the start for 5 years. We spoke last year at 200 episodes going, we can't believe we're here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how much longer we'll go. And yet again, it's another year's gone by. But you guys make us so happy. You're the reason the podcast exists.
Oh, exactly.
Obviously.
Very, very, very boring if we had no audience.
We're so lucky to have such a great audience. We've got people who have just found us, who are binging us. Everyone who sends messages explaining how you found the podcast, when you listen to it, why you listen to it. It is so, so appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. We want you to know that whoever you are, you out there, we love you. We really, really do. And we are so, so grateful to keep bringing you the Poisoner's Cabinet. And our Patreons as well. You guys help us do what we do. We would not be here without you, literally, because you support the show, you support everything we put into it. That's why we've grown. So thank you so much.
And to you, Miss Sinead, for you do so much work. All the editing, because I can't be asked. I'm not doing any of that nonsense. You put so much effort in, and all the TikToks. We wouldn't be here without you doing all that work. So well done you.
Thank you.
That's my one nice thing a year.
Oh, I'm really overwhelmed.
It's not going to happen again, so make the most of it.
It's once a year Nick does this. And I'm crawling inside myself. I don't know what to do. Thank you, Nick. Nick, no. Return the favour. Nick, I love you so much. Everything that you bring to the show, all of the stories, all of the humour, your commitment. Just
it's enough of this now.
No. You will accept my love. It is an absolute joy to do this with you every week. Even walking down here today, I was just saying to Ben, I was walking down here and going, I'm really looking forward to recording with Nick. After 5 years.
Yep.
Cheers. Love you.
Love you too, darling.
Love you. We have wine, by the way, which may mean this goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we poured out all of the bottle. And
yeah,
went, oh no.
Already polished a bottle off.
That was a mistake. How are you, Nick, anyway?
I'm fine. I've had a bottle of wine.
Nearly. Yes. Good. Any poisonings this week?
No, I've been busy this week.
It's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week. Been a busy week. Lots of toing and froing.
You've been up in the London town. You've been working on your high-class fancy job.
Yes, for a whole day this week so far.
Woo, how do you do it?
It's exhausting.
So tiring.
It's exhausting. Going to London, seeing shows and drinking cocktails in lovely places. Going to work for a day and then having a week off to go and celebrate a friend's birthday.
I know.
It's a tough life.
It is. It's very busy. We've got a lot to cram into before we go to the lovely house with a huge hot tub. We're going to a house with a hot tub, people.
Sinead is very excited about this.
I'm very excited.
Everyone seems to be much more excited. I'm not that excited by hot tub.
You're not a hot tub fan, are you?
I'm not a hot tub fan.
I bloody love a hot tub.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people... Don't spoil it, people, by going the germs. No, I love a hot tub. It's just relax. We get to go away for a weekend. We bring books.
That's lovely.
And we have wine. We get in the hot tub and we spend 7 hours in there. It's great. Sit out under the stars.
I don't know how big this hot tub is. Is it going to fit 7 people? I think that's going to be snug.
I think we'll make it work. 7 guys sitting in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay. We're all on top of each other.
Yes.
Hello.
7 of us, and we're all sitting on someone's lap.
Me and Emma will just sit on each other. We'll make it weird for everyone. We sit there going, would you rather be a toe or a finger? Actually, all our friends would be like, no, this is an important debate.
Absolutely. Finger.
Oh, interesting. Finger. Oh, yeah. Actually. Oh, no. But maybe. No, save it for the hot tub, Nick. Save it for the hot tub. You're going to be leaning on the side
Save
chatting.
it for the hot tub chat.
It's a nice way to round off season 5, actually. This is for our darling friend Rose's 40th birthday. She's been on the show before. People, please wish her a happy birthday. If you follow her on social media, Parrot Theatre, or if you want to send us a message, we'll pass it on to her. But lovely Rose for her 40th, but we're going away for the weekend. But it is a nice way to round off season 5. Season 5 does mean that we are going to be on our season break. So we will be back in June. We will release information on Patreon, on our social media of the schedule of when we're going to be back, but it just means that for a few weeks that we're just going to be off while we're gathering information. Won't be gone for long. We will still be putting out different kinds of content on Patreon. It will be a little bit reduced because we're on our break, but there will still be stuff going out there. Hilarious, funny, lovely things.
I'll record the whole time chat.
We should record that.
The entire weekend will be recorded. We'll be like Big Brother in their house.
Nick's just leaning over going, so guys, the finger toe debate. People want to know, not that I'm recording.
Is that a debate?
No, I made it up.
Who would want to be a toe?
Well, it's now going to be a debate because a toe is not going to see terrible things. The finger's everywhere. In many pies. I don't know.
I think a toe leads a sheltered life.
But sometimes it's nice. You're a little hermit, a little cosy toe wrapped up in your sock. No one bothers you. Except when you have to go to market.
Nice.
I mean, we've already started something here, Nick. Okay.
Weigh in, people. What would you rather be?
What would you rather be? Well, maybe we'll record that chat. The main thing is, this will stop for a bit. But yes, we'll bring you information about when we're back and what we're going to do for season 6. It's going to be more of the same, but we like to throw in a twist. So we'd love to have suggestions of sort of things you'd like to hear from us. But speaking of getting in a hot tub and having important debates about digits, I think it is time for us to thank our delicious Patreon subscribers.
We certainly must. First of all, we must say thank you very much to Lizzie Oliveriero.
To Ruth Giles.
To Frost Ra.
Okay. Call to action.
Yes,
Frost Ra! Well done. To Veronica Somerville.
To Aubrey Goodlad.
To Mohammed Nunn, we think it is. Excuse our pronunciation, please.
To Jamie Gerber.
To Savvy Desert Cat.
And to Quirky Diva.
Yay!
Thank you very much, all you lovely people who have joined us this week.
You sexy, sexy Patreon subscribers. We had fun on Patreon this week. We had a good time. We discussed a poison partridge.
A poison partridge.
And a pear tree. There was no pear tree.
There was no pear tree.
No, it was a good, fun little
mystery.
Poisony story. Mystery.
Poisony mystery.
Poisony mystery. They still find them. Still dig them out.
There.
Yes. If you want to know what the hell we're talking about, all this talk of poison partridges, please do consider joining us on patreon.com/The Poisoner's Cabinet, where you get extra episodes from us every week, as well as lots of bonus content. There's things like a book club. We've got videos on there of cocktail lessons. We've got behind the scenes chat. We have 2 tiers on there. It is completely flexible, so you can join, you can quit any time, and you can change tiers as you see fit. There's so much content in there. There is 5 years worth of stuff in there. So if you need a little extra fix from the Poisoner's Cabinet and you want to support the show, that is where to do it. That helps us do what we do, and it is massively appreciated if you join us. We also have a shout out this week, and happy to take suggestions of shout outs when we get back for season 6 as well. You can always message us about that. This shout out is from, now, 2 names. Now, I think it is Linnea Kapsner, Patreon name Itoshihito.
Possibly.
They wanted a shout out. Their birthday is on the 29th of May. So happy birthday. But they also have a very important ad on there, which we're going to put into the description of this episode. They also want to do a shout out because they've got a GoFundMe at the moment for their cat, Percival. Lovely Percival. Percival needs skin graft surgery. They're a rescue cat. They were taken into foster care after being hit by a car. This is surgery that the cat needs. If anyone is inclined or is able to support, we're happy to put the GoFundMe in there. Pet bills are insane. They are massive, and sometimes you can't even cover them with insurance. Completely understand that, and our pets are our family. So we're going to put the link to that GoFundMe in the description notes. But happy birthday, darling. We wish Percival all the snuggles and hugs and head scritches in the world.
Absolutely.
Well, Nick, are you ready?
I think we probably should be.
To drink cocktails and talk about poison. Or we could drink poison and talk about cocktails.
Well, it's the end of the season. Let's just go with it.
Let's just pull the ripcord on this.
See what happens.
Let's just go absolutely mental. But let's start with the first one. And see how we go through the different acts. Hooray, hooray, hooray. It is my story this week, but we can't possibly have a story without a cocktail in hand. As you know, dear listeners, every week we choose a secret ingredient that is inspired by the tale that we tell, and it will flavour our cocktail of the week. Nick?
Yes.
This week's secret ingredient is...
Yes.
Professor Plum in the library with a candlestick.
Nice.
Very specific.
Very specific.
There you go.
Okay.
Professor Plum in the library with the candlestick.
Yep.
Any clues?
Clues. Yeah, there's been a bit of a Cluedo thing going on there.
Little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit of Cluedo thing.
Little bit of a Cluedo thing, because it was difficult to try and. I mean, I could have come up with many more ingredients. Actually, once I'd written the story, it went, oh shit, there's loads in here.
But we had already settled on that.
We settled on that. I sort of gave you a hint and went, would this be okay? And you were like, yes, absolutely, let's do that.
That's fun.
It's the end of season. There we are. Cluedo, but it's obscure. But don't worry. Don't worry, that's the main thing in all of this.
It's the main thing.
So, with Professor Plum in the library with the Candlestick, what have you come up with?
We are having...
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes. So,
so why did you say?
Well, I mean, I wanted to go through. Do I need to explain my logic?
Yes.
As to why we have this particular cocktail?
It's been 5 years. Yes, you know I'm going to do this every time.
So, well, yeah, Professor Plum with the thingy in the thingy. Cluedo.
Cluedo.
Very good game. Actually, it's not a good game at all. It's a shit game.
I like Cluedo.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Cluedo.
You know what I do like?
What do you like?
The film Clue.
Film Clue, grand.
Cracking.
Go with that.
Okay.
Game. About murder.
Yeah.
And played with friends.
Yes.
So we are having...
Okay.
A love and murder.
A love and...
Because you love your friends, you're playing Cluedo with them, and then someone's dead. Yes.
You found a cocktail you liked and you thought, you know what, I'll make this fit.
Pretty much. I thought, oh, that is interesting. How can I crowbar this in there?
And you know, we now have it on record that you do love your friends.
Yeah.
So when we ask you, do you love us? You go,
Oh, crap.
Yeah,
but then I also love murder.
You also love murder. Good. It's nice to have options.
It's good to have a balance in
It
life.
is good. This is a good thing, energy that we will bring to the country house we're going to for the weekend.
Do you have a butler? Oh, can we get a butler?
We could bring a butler? I don't know why I said that.
Do you have one in the drawer?
No. My first thought was like, we'll bring a doll that's a butler. I don't know.
No, I want an actual butler.
Well, get one then.
I
Get
might-
naked.
I
There's you can have naked
No, I
butlers.
don't want a naked butler.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
I don't want bits in
You
my
don't
naked-
want to fall in love.
I don't. That's true. Yes.
You just want someone to bring you things.
Yes.
Yeah, that someone is me. It's me.
Take
Just get me a little outfit and then just go. You go. You just go.
Stop stirring my Negroni like that.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry. I'll sweep the fires now. No, we don't have a butler this weekend.
Oh.
But we have a love and murder,
We have love and murder.
which they were drinking while playing Cluedo.
Exactly.
Yay. Okay. Good. You elbowed it in there.
Yes.
Well, this story is a little bit about love and maybe some murder.
No, well, there we go. Perfect.
Okay.
It's all meant to be.
So, well, that's it, isn't it?
Yes.
I thought there was something else. I was like, no, we need the cocktail before I guess what's in it.
What's in the cocktail? Wine.
Wine. I think I'm getting wine and regrets. Okay, I think it is high time for us to sleuth into the poisonous cabinet kitchen and shake up a storm. So we'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you in a bit.
And we're back.
Hello.
So, Nick, love and murder.
Love and murder.
Love and murder. What a deadly combination.
Quite.
It looks very pretty. So it's very pink.
It's pink.
Is it pink? Is it pinky ready?
It's pinky ready colour.
Pinky ready. That's very nice. It smells of things. Oh, it smells fruity. It smells interesting. Okay, well, to the end of season 5, another marvellous year.
Mother marvellous year.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Down the hatch. Okay,
Oh, there's a lot going on there.
there's a lot going on, but I don't mind it. Okay. Okay. It has things.
Yeah, it does have things.
Does have things. I'm not opposed to it.
Good, because I really
Oh,
wasn't sure if you would like this or not, because it is...
It's getting bitter though. No, it's kicking in. Oh, it's starting to kick in, Nick.
Yeah.
It's starting to kick in. So first up, sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour, yeah.
Sweet and sour, like a good. Let's get Chinese. No. Sweet and sour, and then like, oh, okay, oh, no, bitter. Something bitter. It's coming in. So I don't know what's happening. I know there's sugar syrup in it because you were muttering in the kitchen, going, "It needs more."
Yes, because the recipe called for quite a lot of sugar syrup.
I can see
and
why.
I know both of us, usually, especially you,
Yeah.
knocked out back. So I did knock back the sugar syrup. So I tried it. And I was like, oh no, that definitely needs more.
Yeah, because it tastes sweet. Second sip, not as bitter, I think.
Well, that's
I'm
just
waiting.
Taste buds get acclimatized to it.
Science, yeah. It's not bad at all. I like it.
that.
I like it. It's not world beating at the moment.
It's not the best cocktail in the history of the world, but it's I think it's perfectly
perfectly
acceptable.
drinkable. Oh, yeah.
Perfectly
If
drinkable.
I was served that, I'd feel there was alcohol in it.
You will be correct.
Sometimes you get something that's sweet and sour, and then you'd be like, oh, this is just sugar. Citrus?
Yes.
Lime.
Yes.
Lime. Yes, I thought so. That's why I said it. Don't know why. Okay. Campari.
Yes.
Yes. Is that the only bitterness, or is there more?
There's something else in there.
Twiggy?
Twiggy.
Have you fucking put chartreuse?
I
in?
have.
Oh, you motherfucker!
Put chartreuse in our final cocktail.
I knew you were going to do it. I knew
did
it.
quite like someone put yes, it was Nick with the chartreuse in the kitchen. So someone commented on that.
It truly was. It truly was. It's not killed me yet. It's slow releasing. Slow releasing. I fucking knew there was something in there, though, didn't I? Oh, is it the fucking green chartreuse?
Green chartreuse.
My eyes aren't bleeding.
Not just yet.
Because there's still, but the lingering. It's the lingering meh, but you've masked it well. All I can say. Right, what else is in this? So,
Nothing.
What?
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Mind blown. What? So lime juice, Campari, sugar syrup, and green chartreuse.
Oh, one more thing.
Right.
One more thing that is not a booze.
I don't know. What, lies? A juice?
No. You'll never get it.
What do you mean I'll never get it?
Okay.
Fuck you.
Crack on.
Eggs?
No.
No, right. I'm out of ideas. It's not an alcohol.
It's not an alcohol.
Is it a cocktail ingredient?
I mean, yes, because it is in a cocktail.
Jam?
No.
I don't know.
Salt.
Oh, salt. Oh, actually in the cocktail.
Actually, a salt solution.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, maybe that helps.
Which, because again, I've seen salt solution in a few cocktail recipes, and I generally get it in there. But in this one, as I was reading through like comments and stuff like that, a lot of people said you need the salt. Without the salt, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So okay, fine. I made up a salt solution.
That should not work at all for me.
Yeah, and Campari and green chartreuse equal parts.
Campari and chartreuse. If you said to me, Campari, if I saw that on a menu, Campari and green chartreuse, I'd be flinging that menu across the bar.
You'd be burning the bar down.
Absolutely. I'd be like, not for a million miles away from me. Please, bitter and twiggy and bleh.
Yeah. Whereas I'll be going, bring it on.
Bring it on. Bring it on. But with the sugar and the salt, maybe the salt is the key. Don't skimp on the saline. Saline solution, is that what it's called? Yeah.
You need the salt.
I mean, I'm still drinking it.
Yeah. And there's a bit more in the fridge because these glasses are a bit smaller. So there's a bit more left.
Honestly, I don't know what that is. That is alchemy. That is it. There you go. Season 5.
This is the wonder of mixology.
Season 5 finale. I am drinking a green chartreuse cocktail.
And enjoying every second of it.
It's all right. I'm not bleeding from the eyes. It's got a lingering... It's like there's a ghost rapping at the window. It's like Kathy at the window. Like, please, Cliff. I'm like ignoring it. No, can't hear you. Can't hear you. Like, oh, you'll regret this soon. Yeah, well done. Love and murder in equal parts. You love it, but it will murder you. How do you feel about it?
I love it. I'm very, very much in favour of it.
You've gone from it's not bad to I love it.
I know the more I've had, I thought, yeah, I could have another. I could have several
mellowed
of those.
the second sip, didn't it?
It always feels like when you first...
Which is always what
Which
you
is
want.
what you want with a drink.
When you drink Campari, it's like, oh, I'm not sure if I like this. And then you go, actually, it's all
I do
right.
like this.
It's an acquired taste. Well, with the love and murder firmly in hand, I'm as shocked as you are.
As you should be.
Is it time for a story, Nick?
I should hope so.
Woohoo!
Have you got one?
I do have a good one.
Excellent.
I do have one. End of season.
End of season.
How do we end the season? What do we do? There
were cake. Where's my cake?
Oh no, we don't have cake.
I said cake last week.
Well,
and
you should have brought cake. I lied. I say a lot of things to you, Nick.
Say a lot of things.
I say a lot of things to get another drink out of you. So many people sent in suggestions of really great episodes, which are all fodder for season 6. There were some really good ones that I was toying between some big ones, and then suddenly it was like, something gave me inspiration, not only for this, but for Patreon as well. Look at crime. That's what we're about.
That's generally what we do,
We
yes.
do like crime. And we need to look at a person who may have inspired our love of crime, people's love of crime, the person to whom we truly owe the detective novel.
Who you owe crime to? She invented crime?
Crime stories. All of the stories that we love about crime. It's Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
And her
murderous ways.
Her murderous ways. Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much we could talk about. The crime she committed in order to inspire her books.
Horrendous murderer, drumming up publicity for her books.
There she was. Absolutely going, yes.
Jack the Ripper.
She was born in 1890, so just after.
Oh.
But, she may have been lying about her age.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? There is a good old mystery associated with Agatha. People have asked us about it over the years. The disappearance of the great writer herself. The fact that she vanished for 11 days in December of 1926.
Aliens.
And it caused an absolute sensation. All over the place. It catapulted the writer to even further fame. But it's puzzled people for decades.
Was it just a publicity stunt?
That was one of the theories.
Is that one of them? Okay.
Well, some people were certain a crime had been committed. They were certain that this was a crime. This was unbelievable at the time. And it has been for a long time amongst the list of the top conspiracy theories of all time. People convinced there was more to this than meets the eye. Had to be a conspiracy theory. Was it a publicity stunt? Was there something going on behind the scenes? All of these things. The likely truth of what happened to the Queen of Crime herself that winter is a compelling story, an important one as well to set straight.
Okay.
So who was Agatha Christie?
Tell me more.
Here's a huge bio of her.
Here's a Wikipedia entry.
I mean, no. On this, not going to do a full bio on Agatha Christie. There's so much you could talk about her, and the love for Agatha Christie is deep and wide and far-reaching because she's a fascinating figure. She is the best-selling author of all time.
Yes.
Yeah, billions.
Even better than Jesus.
Even better than Jesus. She beat Jesus. That's what she always wanted. I think she would have felt very bad about Jesus because she was really Christian.
Yes.
She was very devout. Like, oh no, poor Jesus. So I'm not doing a full bio of the writer. There's a few fun facts I've got in here, but I'm focusing on the disappearance and the detail around that because there's too much to say and I don't want to skim over it. But it did make me think, and my initial idea was like, you could spend some time looking at her books and her stories, her plays that were inspired by real life crimes. And that is worth a fun dive over on Patreon. I think that we can spend some time, maybe in the break and in the future, looking at the crimes that inspired Agatha Christie's story.
Yeah.
Some of them we've covered on the show already, some of them we haven't. But it's also, people have always said, can you please do episodes about fictional crimes? As if they're an actual story. And where better to start than Agatha Christie?
That's true.
So
I'm sure there must be crimes people have committed inspired by Agatha Christie.
I delved into it a tiny bit.
There must be some mad person I'm going to do Orient Express. I'm going to do
Orient Express.
I'm going to do the Orient Express.
The Orient Express, brilliant story behind it because it's inspired by Charles Limbo, which we've not covered very dark, but great story behind it. Once you get into Agatha Christie's stories, they are so compelling and juicy. And she is, an absolute genius in terms of her writing style because of they're seen as cozy. Incredibly dark.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Incredibly dark and detailed and very meticulously planned out, but they have this cozy feel.
They do.
They're
Absolutely.
entertaining and they're funny. And she managed to nail that the way that no other has ever done. So I think on Patreon we can do that. We can we can do a little bit of like, okay, the crimes that inspired her. We'll revisit some stuff. Maybe we will take a story. People can nominate if they want, and we will retell it as if it was a true crime story. And you can guess whether it's a true crime story or it's Agatha, because you could do a lot. She wrote a lot of books. And also this coincides very nicely because on Book Club this month we're doing And Then There Were None.
One of my favourites.
It is a brilliant story.
It is a brilliant story.
Absolutely outstanding. Yes. It's the first time reading it for some people. Loads of people have read it before. But we're reading the book for Book Club, which is on Patreon. We have a book club over on a group on Facebook, so you can weigh in there and share your thoughts. But yeah, all fits in.
Yeah. And if you don't read the book, there was a BBC adaptation 5 or 6 years ago now, probably even longer, maybe 10 years or so ago. That is still, to this day, one of the best things I've ever watched. It is fantastic.
I think it was 2014 where they bought the rights.
Yeah, something like that. And they did it over Christmas or Boxing Day or New Year's or something like that.
It's been adapted many times, but that BBC production...
that particular one was stunning. And it sparked all the subsequent ones, and none of them were ever as good. None of them were ever as good. Let's also acknowledge, I'll say it now, there's lots of fun tropes. There's lots of things we're going to talk about with Agatha Christie and little things like that. Agatha Christie, not great about the representation in her books. As was the Times.
Wrote of the time.
Yeah, wrote of the time. Wrote what she knew of the time.
Yeah, Jewish people and black people didn't get a great ride in her books.
And they didn't get a great ride in life.
Comments didn't have to put them in there. I will say that, and that will be the hill I die on. Authors did not have to put those in there. Didn't have to then put a character and then go, yeah, bloody hell. And also then there were none, but had a different name. Had a very different thing. Yes, there are things that she can be criticised for in the past, and we shouldn't forget that. It doesn't appear in this story here, but it would be remiss of us not to point that out and go, well, it wasn't great. Agatha herself. So some fun facts about her early life before we get to the disappearance. She was born in 1890 in Devon on a Tuesday. No, it wasn't a Tuesday. She's the youngest of 3 children, born into a wealthy family. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing is that there's so many books that I've read about her and stories, and you listen to podcasts and kind of adaptations of sort of like quick summaries of her life. And the way it's fair, people can reach for, and this is why she wrote about this in all of her life. But she did take inspiration from her life because she was such a prolific writer. You can assume that, you know, the way she travelled and the way she lived, that would have inspired so much of her work.
Absolutely.
And the interesting thing about her childhood, she was born into a wealthy family. It was a family of privilege. You know, there were society people, her father very well off, happy childhood, voracious reader, in spite of her mother. Her mother didn't want her to read until she was 8 years old. No, she shouldn't read that. And she taught herself. Apparently, the legend goes, she was already reading. A voracious reader, interested in writing short stories. She had periods of illness when she was younger, and that's when she started writing stories. And she had these dreams, these fever dreams, where she conjured up these images. And there's great stories and books that have been written all about her life and how it would have influenced her. But her father died when she was 11, and she would later write that was where her childhood ended. This shift from a 2-parent family to a single parent family, they were still okay. They had some money through, but it's not the opulence. Yeah. And again, conclusions have been drawn by some people as in, like, you know, she wrote a lot about people being terrified of losing their inheritance, losing their privilege later on. And she writes in that world. She knew it well. She would grow up, sophisticated young woman, very well travelled everywhere, fascinated with travel, intelligent. She was trying to get herself published as an author with her short stories. She had started to write these stories, wrote them under a man's name, sent them off.
Did she start off with crime? Was that the original
It wasn't. The first one wasn't her. Those short stories were just little stories. It wasn't her big crime novel. The first detective novel would come later. She has a lot of suitors, a lot of people who were queuing up and wanted to marry her. She's a suitable marriage. Her mother arranged, it was a really weird, I read this sort of like very quickly, her coming out into society in Egypt.
That's fancy.
No, not really. No, because they were travelling at the time and she hired a hotel and went, she's doing a coming out thing in Egypt. And going, well, none of us can get there. But she was like, it's done there. And then, whoa, society, now get married, now get married. Now she's come out officially, now go and get married when they got back to England. It was weird. But there were people who were interested. She actually was engaged to a chap, and I didn't actually get his name, unfortunately. I could have looked it up. It was in one of the many books. Boo him, because...
Research, boo.
Lots of research, but this one guy for that one thing that she was going, hello, I love you. She was engaged, but she ran into Archibald Archie Christie. In 1912, he was a decorated military officer at a dance. At a dance, she was a good dancer. Nice. She loved to dance. He loved to dance. They met. One person said it was lust at first sight. So, Shag City. She called off her other engagement, like, fuck you. So they get together. He will continue to serve in the First World War. And during the war, famously, she joins the effort as a voluntary nurse. Mm-hmm. She will work with the Red Cross, and she qualifies as an apothecary's assistant.
Nice.
And this is where she learns about medicine and...
about all the herbs.
Poison. Ding, 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 ding. All of the things about poison. She studies these. She understands poisons, various medicines that were used at the time, and all the poisons that we've mentioned, all of our favourites. She understands this process as she dispenses them during the war, and this knowledge that she absorbs influences her books.
I'm sure.
And its meticulous detail, as Dr. Catherine Harkup has mentioned, Carla Valentine, loads of people that we've spoken to. She knew her stuff and she was really thorough, and she knew how to turn that into a great story, still with that level of detail of how it would work. Her first detective novel is, do you know what it is?
I don't, to be honest, actually, no.
The Mysterious Affair at Styles. In 1916 it's published, and she only wrote it as a dare.
Okay.
Her sister dared her write a detective novel. It's sort of referenced a few places like, go on, write a detective novel. Well, fine, I will then. I will. And that is the introduction of Hercule Poirot.
Very good.
Hercule Poirot. He is inspired by the war refugees she had seen in Torquay.
Okay.
Where they were at the time, and she would see these people coming over, their colourful dress, their different sorts of dress, and their mannerisms, and this inspired her to create Poirot.
Nice.
So she is a mother by now to Rosalind, and she sends the book to many, many publishers, rejected. But then one publisher accepts it. But her editor says, we will take this and we'll give you a contract, but one condition, you need to change the ending. It's like, not the plot, but you have Poirot standing up at a court delivering his denouement.
Okay.
Amateur detectives can't do that.
That's a fair point.
They can't do that. So she goes, okay, well, maybe he does this in the parlour of the country house.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
So rather than it being in court, it has I've gathered you all here today to tell you the story. That is the change. And that one editor said, no, it's not realistic, so you need to change it.
Like it.
Here we go. Fun facts. Now, this publisher signs her on for 5 books, which she hated at the time. She hated because it was 5 books. So she would end up writing about a book a year later, but the same sort of deal. But she felt it was really restrictive. It wasn't very good royalties. And she sort of felt she had to churn out these books. Yeah. And she did a couple more detective ones. She had other characters that she'd created who were lesser known. Some people who've read all of her books will know about them. As she's publishing these books, they get quite popular and she's starting to get some fame. So she's waiting to the end of that contract so she can break it. And she travels a lot during this time with her husband. Her husband is so he's been in the military and then he goes into finance and he's working for different sort of government organisations. She goes with him. The child left at home.
With nanny.
Yeah, basically with servants. Quite common. Like, I'm off to do these things. Okay, bye.
Bye.
She travels around. It's in South Africa. She learns to surf.
Nice.
One of her great pleasures in life is surfing.
Like it.
She does this in Hawaii as well. She actually extends her stay in Hawaii so she can keep surfing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I no idea about that. That's
Agatha Christie surfed.
Massive surfer.
Absolutely. Massive surfing USA. Loved it. It was one of her great joys, she said. So once she is free, though, of this 5-book deal, she can start working on what she feels is her proper next novel. She's written books, obviously, but she's free, and this frees her up to write what many would consider to be her masterpiece. What is credited as the greatest detective novel of all time, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. She has got a new publisher, William Collins. It makes a huge impression on the critics and on the public. It's an unreliable narrator. There's twists and turns, and people are very critical of Christie, the critics, because they're like, you're breaking the rules. You're breaking the rules of sort of, detective, of these mystery fictions and everything. You're supposed to give us clues, and how could we work this out? And there's always ways of working it out, but it is so important, this book, and if you've read it, you know the big twist and all these things. Some of the critics' comments about the book label it as too clever for its own good, because it broke the rules. A tasteless and unfortunate letdown by a writer we have grown to admire.
No.
The public don't get any of this. It skyrockets. So this is her great success in 1926, but that year is also going to be one of the worst of her life, and that will lead to her disappearance. So in 1926, she's living with Archie and Rosalind in Sunningdale in Berkshire. Their house there, they'd had a flat there. They ended up having a house. She calls it Styles.
Nice.
After her first book and her big success. Around now, she's 35, going to be 36 later in the year. Doing well. She's now got success, and as she's sort of moving through the year and she's writing this, the publication of the book is going to bring her massive fame. Outwardly, happy marriage, but privately, Agatha's marriage is suffering. Archie is increasingly distant. While they're in Sunningdale, they've moved between London and Berkshire. He's not really socialising as much, apart from to play golf. His great passion. Loves a bit of golf.
Loves a bit of golf.
Absolutely. She's a golf widow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Obsessed with that. But he's always either busy at work or too tired to do anything. And this is great strain on their marriage. They seem to be growing apart, much to her distress. In April that year, Agatha's mother dies.
No.
She was very close to her mother, understandably heartbroken. She has to go to her mother's house. She spends weeks there, cleaning it, tending it, with just her and her daughter, incredibly upset, sometimes just her alone, and she is mourning. Archie didn't, in quotes, like illness or death or trouble.
Who does like them, really?
No, he doesn't do well with it. He doesn't do well with it.
Right.
So he stayed abroad on his work.
Wow, okay, kind of him.
Yeah, the funeral, not for him.
Oh.
Not for him, not really.
Oh, Archie, step up, man.
Deeply depressed is Dear Agatha, and she would later write about, in her autobiography, write about the loneliness, the emptiness, the insomnia, the irrational forgetfulness and the misery she was enduring at that time. Archie eventually comes to see Agatha at her mother's house. You know, someone who's there for the good times and everything. People sort of go like, well, we don't really get Archie's story. It's like, well, turn up when your wife is upset. But he does turn up at the house. She's like, great, okay. And well Agatha is really has been writing to him going, we need a holiday. I just want to go away. I want to go to the Pyrenees. Yep. Have a break. And he goes, I've got a better idea. Let's get a divorce.
Right.
She's like, what?
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm in love with another younger woman.
Oh, dear.
Nancy Neal. Agatha knew her. She was in the same social circle, 10 years younger.
Yeah.
Oh, described at length as young, pretty, bright, athletic, popular, and she was really good at golf.
I mean, that's what a man wants.
That's what a man wants.
A lady who's good at golf.
Yeah. Nancy, look, we don't get her story. Pick me.
Yeah.
Pick me, girl. Sorry. Just tell her. I mean, I love golf. I love golf so much. Oh, my God. I'm just more one of the guys and all of that. Oh, fuck you, Nancy.
Back off.
Sorry, she may have been a lovely person. But yeah, Agatha's like, Christ, okay. Lucy Worsley, the great Lucy Worsley's book on Agatha Christie, which has been a great source for this podcast, and please go and read that book because she writes it so well, and it's absolutely packed with resources and material. But she shares in that some of the things that he'd said to Agatha, according to Agatha. Says, you know I'm no good if things go wrong. I can't bear people to be unhappy or upset. Yeah. And he would write to her later going, I can't bear to think of you being unhappy or ill, so I'm just not going to be here. So I'm going to leave you and go off with a younger woman. Oh, fuck you, Archie.
Yeah, no, Archie, you're a twat.
Boo-hoo. Things happen, but also fuck you. Unimaginable blow to her that she's lost her mother. She's at the height of her fame, but her life is falling apart behind the scenes. Nice. It would influence her writing for the rest of her life. This perfect man she believed was good and true and loyal, only to break her.
Oof.
She would later write, a man who is a child is the most frightening thing in the world.
Like it.
Agatha,
yes. You're not wrong.
She goes into denial for a while. Like, no, he'll come to his senses. He will stay. And they have this sort of awful, protracted time where he's living at the house. They're not separated.
Ooh.
But he is still entertaining his young woman. And she's like, no, it's all going to be fine. It's okay. He'll come to his senses. Weeks and weeks, back and forth from London and Berkshire, agreeing to stay around, absent in form and absent in spirit, until we lead up to the 3rd of December. The morning of the 3rd of December, Archie leaves for work to London. Goodbye. Agatha goes out for a drive with Rosalind. She visits her mother-in-law in Surrey. Okay. She got on really well with her mother-in-law. She got really well. And driving back through the Surrey countryside, her route takes her very close to the beauty spot Newlands Corner, near a quarry. And she would later say that while driving past this point, she was overcome by a despondent state of mind and wanted her life to end.
Oh.
And she thought about driving into the quarry. But she has this shock moment because Rosalind's in the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Got your daughter in the car.
Pulls herself to her senses, drives home. Mm-hmm. But she would talk about it later. She returned home about 6 p.m. She ate dinner alone. Archie rang that evening and revealed he wasn't going to come home on Friday. He was going to spend the weekend with friends. Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah. Me and some friends are playing golf. But Nancy was going to be there as well.
Yeah.
Nancy was going to be there. He was taking her away with friends. They were all going to hang out. It would later turn out this was kind of an impromptu engagement party under the radar. Yeah, we're going to be married soon. So it's not just that you're with your mistress, you're taking her with her friends. Yeah. Golf weekend. And she plays golf so well. Oh, great. Good.
Boo.
In the household, Agatha has 3 servants who live there, and she also has her friend and secretary, Carlo. They all take care of Rosalind, the daughter. So Rosalind is used to being looked after them because Agatha would fuck off and write her books elsewhere. And Mummy and Daddy would drive around. So it wasn't uncommon for her to leave her in the care of the servants. It was part of their job.
What they did, yes.
She goes up and says goodnight to her daughter, kisses the dog, leaves 2 letters downstairs. One addressed to her husband, one addressed to her best friend. And she drives away in her car. And she does not come back. We don't know what was in either letter. We've got speculation.
Yeah.
Because neither of them were documented and both were destroyed, which I'll come on to. Apparently, Carlo's letter, the one to her friend, was rambling, in which Agatha said her head was bursting, asked her to cancel all her appointments, she needed to get away, saying it isn't fair, all of this strange stuff. Other reports saying that she said, I'll call when I get to my destination, I'm just going away for a bit. So not sort of completely insane, but she doesn't come home. And everyone's going, okay, where is she?
Yeah.
Where is she? She's out alone in the car.
There's a worry.
The next morning at dawn, her car is found by a farmer, partially in a hedge, close to Newlands Corner.
Okay.
This is not only a quarry where you can drive off the edge, but it's very close to a very creepy spot, Silent Pool.
I know of Silent Pool.
You do know of Silent Pool. What do you know of Silent Pool?
Well, I know the name, and because I used to live around Surrey way.
Yeah.
So yes, I know of it, but I don't know the history behind it or anything.
Silent Pool is now a name of a gin brand.
Yes, it is.
It is. So we could have had that. Yeah. We could have had that, but there's no sign of Agatha. The police and a detective is called. Detective Kenwood arrives on the scene to investigate. The car has Agatha's bag in it. A hastily, seemingly packed bag of clothes.
Okay.
A fur coat. In the car, no Agatha. It's December.
Okay.
There is a smear of blood on the steering wheel.
Ooh.
And her driving license is in there. So the detective is searching this car, going, well, who's left this car here? What's a woman here? And he opens the driver's license.
Agatha Christie.
It's Agatha Christie. It's Agatha Christie. Oh, she's quite well known, isn't she?
She's a famous lady.
Roger Ackroyd has come out this year. Oh. Now, Detective Kenwood, he is described by some people as looking quite like Poirot.
Okay.
Ironically.
Like it.
Portly man, little moustache.
Nice.
And he was a very nice man. Apparently, he was a really good detective, but he was, how would we put it, an attention whore.
Okay.
Loves the drama. And I kind of love him for this.
Fair enough.
But he knows a good story when he sees it. And it's like, oh my God. Okay. Agatha Christie. She could be dead. This could be a murder. Oh my God, it could be someone might have murdered Agatha Christie. Or, awful, but a crime. She could have taken her own life. Oh, but she's disappeared. We need to find her. And then I'll find the body. I'll find it and I'll be famous. Famous plays will be written about me. He mounts what would be the biggest search ever.
Okay.
Huge teams to scour the Surrey
the
countryside.
Surrey.
1,000 police officers.
Wow.
Apparently upwards of 10,000 volunteers.
That's a lot of overtime.
Bloodhounds. Yes, bloodhounds. It is the first instance that a plane is used.
Wow.
To search, an aerial search. He mounts this aerial search. He commissions fucking everyone. The lake is dragged at Silent Pool. Get people in there. The trees are combed. The grass is interrogated. He spares no expense and no one's time trying to find this. It is all, and of course, all over the papers now because he's doing throwing every resource he has to try and find it because he's convinced he's going to find a body. He is absolutely convinced there is a body, and if he finds it, fame and fortune away. And he's doing his job.
Well, he has to. Yeah, well, absolutely. He's searching for a missing woman.
He's not treating it with subtlety.
Yeah,
shall we say? Now the case, it's important that it's split between Surrey and Berkshire because crime scene in inverted commas. Surrey, home, Berkshire.
Yeah.
So a different detective is investigating Berkshire, and that is Detective Goddard. So while in Surrey, Kennard has got planes and tanks and dogs and horses and cows, Goddard is quietly going to the Christie home to do his investigations. He questions the people closest to her, and he's looking around the house for any clues. The servants give him the note she left for her friend. He reads it. It's like, okay, she's not in a good state of mind. We may be dealing with someone who's taken their own life. The detectives talk to Agatha's friend, her mother-in-law. They're all deeply concerned, going, we're really worried she's gone and done something. You know, she was in great form all week, but this is not like her.
Yeah, it's not normal.
They feel that she may have done something drastic. There's someone they really need to talk to. Her husband.
It's a bloody husband, yeah.
Archie. Archie's sweating. He's sweating. Because, of course, he's been with his mistress all weekend in a mystery location. allegedly not far from where his wife may have disappeared from. And and it's an engagement party. And he doesn't really want people finding out about her because that does seem like a motive, doesn't it?
Like a bit shitty, yeah.
Even if it's not a motive, he's a decorated military officer.
Not going to look good.
Not going to look good if you are revealed to be a serial philanderer. So he is called by the servants going, your wife is missing. And he's like, shit, okay. Comes home. He reads the letter that Agatha wrote him. And he destroys it.
Oof.
Destroys it.
What does it say? You
bastard. Know. We don't know. We don't know. There's all sorts of scenes people write about him tearing it up and throwing it into fire. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
But it does not survive. If something has happened to his wife that he's the first person, obviously everyone's going to come to. He's like, my wife literally writes this. She's been talking about this. He's got a big secret. Was the letter accusatory? Was it intended to throw blame at him if anyone read it? Did it detail his affair? Did it give the names? Would it have sounded like a motive for murder either way? Things aren't looking good for Archie.
Not ideal.
And I think that's time for a drink.
Oh, God, yes.
Nick, we have our drinks.
We do.
Archie is sweating.
As he should.
Archie's not in a great position.
No. Sneaky bastard.
And the press having a field day with this story. This is all over the papers. She is a celebrity. She is well known enough.
Well-known woman, yeah, absolutely.
And it's the biggest story and the biggest manhunt, thanks to Kennard.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone all out of that. I like that.
Yeah. I'm calling him Kennard. I think it's Kenwood, but I think it's pronounced Kennard with something. But yeah, he's just all over the place. Yeah. It's like, more stuff! Get pots and pans!
Get
whatever.
more men!
But famous mystery writer has gone missing. Did she take her own life? Has she been murdered? What has happened to her? There are theories all over the place. And of course, the place where she was spotted, Silent Pool, the most haunted body of water in Surrey. That is its actual title. The legend is there that a child drowned in the lake at Silent Pool because they were chased by King John, who wanted to have sex with her.
Nice.
And she ran into the lake and drowned. And King John just rode away going, shit. And apparently there's all sorts of things like 2 children had died there recently, and not many reports on that. It's a legend.
Yes.
But then people, while they're on this sort of bandwagon of she's dead, we don't know what happened to her. One paper apparently claimed that Christie was already dead and her ghost had been seen haunting a local cafe.
I mean, that's going to get the tourists in, isn't it? That's going to
very much feel
the increased sales of Battenberg cake somewhat.
The woman in white special.
Yeah, exactly. Christie cake for you. Christie cake, anyone?
Absolutely. You must eat our snacks, otherwise the ghost will get you. There's no one who wasn't willing to cash in on this. Rumours of foul play as well. Had she been killed by an assailant or someone close to home? Some of the headlines that were about mystery of woman novelist's disappearance. Yes, woman novelist.
Woman novelist.
Make sure they know it's a woman.
Not just any old novelist, but a woman.
Exactly. Another headline. Mrs. Agatha Christie, novelist, disappears in a strange way from her home in England. That was in the New York Times.
Right, yes.
Hounds search for novelist. Disappearance of Agatha Christie arouses England.
Ooh.
Friends fear she has been killed. And this is a gem I found with a little bit of Google imaging searching because I was trying to find all the headlines. Find one. And it's so shit. Mrs. Christie disguised. It's how she might have disguised herself by altering her style of hairdressing or wearing glasses.
Please say there's a section of mugshots.
Yes.
With different hairdos.
It's one of her and 2 others where they've just drawn glasses and put a weird haircut on her. This is how she might have looked, people. Might look now. If she was in disguise, they all look the same. It's very clearly her. It was just nice to see that kind of like how she could be disguising herself. Oh, E-fit. I
imagine like one with a beehive.
No, they all just very sensible. She needs glasses. She's a novelist. A woman novelist, you know.
He definitely needs glasses.
You know who also, in the midst of all of this, helps out? Do you know who helps out?
No.
Do you not know this? Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh, that was in my head. I thought, is it going to be him?
Arthur Conan Doyle, that big fan of spiritualism and fairies and all sorts of things. Arthur Conan Doyle. There is a great...
He conducted a seance trying to contact her or something.
He had a medium. On hand, one of his favourites. There's a great... I think there was a series, was it Urban Myths or Urban Legends or something, where they do a dramatised version of stuff. And it was a really good episode where they heighten all of the drama, but they have Arthur Conan Doyle running up to the crime scene going, no, let me touch the car. I know how to do this. It's equivalent of that. And he's like, don't worry, I have one of her gloves, because he's a famous writer. He knew, he met her. He said he had one of her gloves. No idea. And he has his psychic medium on hand, Worsley, and he has obviously people there, and he sits at the table and he gives Horace the glove. It's like, can you detect anything from this glove? And Horace went, Agatha. How did he know? How did he know that it was Agatha's glove, this woman who has famously been missing for several days and has been all over all the newspapers, and there's a newspaper actually right there next to the table that we're all looking at. How did he know? Oh my goodness, it's real. So Horace tells the people, she is not as dead as people think.
Okay.
Not as dead.
Not as dead.
Not as dead.
Still marginally dead.
She will return by Wednesday at the latest.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty specific prediction.
It's not bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a few days away. It was like, by Wednesday the latest.
Even though she's not, even saying she's not dead.
Yes.
That's pretty bold.
It's 50-50, mate, isn't it? Sorry. It's not bold, it's 50-50.
I don't know. If you're a medium, you're expected to know, she's here with me.
He's also going there. She's not as dead as you would expect. How dead do you think she is? Very. Well, only slightly dead. She's alive,
she's
then.
back by Wednesday.
But why don't you say she's alive? She's not as dead. Not as dead. She maybe. Everyone's like, oh my God, psychics are real. Absolutely brilliant. While people may have whispered, though, about Archie's role in all of this, the police were quite kind to him. Okay. There seemed to have been this respect for him being a posh boy and a war hero.
Yeah.
So they're going to tread lightly there. You can't go accusing him like some ruffian on the street.
Indeed.
No, he must be suffering so, the press say. Oh, poor Archie. He is just a bucket of sweat by now, knowing his secret could be revealed any moment. And there's, I like this, again from Lucy Worsley book, the Westminster Gazette ran helpful lines in their sort of think pieces going, I understand there is no truth in the rumour that high words were said between Agatha and Archie at the breakfast table the day of her disappearance.
Right.
No, definitely not. That happened. Absolutely not. In either what is a panic or a calculated move, Archie decides to give an interview to the Daily Mail, that bastion of shit, where he plants the seed that she may have consciously disappeared. He says that she had discussed the possibility of disappearing, possibly for her work. He talked about how much money she had. She had so much money, and that she was very clever at getting anything she wanted.
Oh, you bastard.
He denies any sort of rift with his wife. I strongly depreciate introducing any tittle-tattle into this matter. My wife has never made the slightest objection to any of my friends.
Apart from the one you're shagging.
He says that to the press. He is the one who plants the seed.
Ooh.
People have speculated. Now,
sneaky bastard.
People have been speculating for a while, going, what could have happened to her? Because it's not escaped the press that, could this be a publicity stunt?
Yeah.
She is now one of the most popular writers.
Yep.
Two novels. Well, she's several novels, but two massive ones. Got a new book out. I mean, isn't this a great story?
Yeah.
A mystery writer has gone missing, maybe murdered. It's delicious.
God, yeah. Yeah, her book sales are now skyrocketing.
100%. It works. Yeah. If that was what she wanted, absolutely skyrockets. But they run with this. The Daily Mail is saying these things, and Archie, whether he is naively saying them just to fucking deflect from himself.
He's just deflecting from his own shagging around.
Yeah, he has painted her, whether he intended to or not, and I really don't care either way, that he is scheming, cunning, and neglectful of his marriage.
I think it's exactly what he was intending.
Yeah, as long as I don't get shit for cheating on her, fine. She's done this to herself. Some have it that, he didn't mean to throw his wife under the bus entirely, but I don't think he actually cared. Agatha was missing for a total of 11 days. But it wasn't until Archie's brother, Campbell, who she got on with quite well, came forward with a letter he'd received from Agatha that was either posted the day of or even after her disappearance. Okay. And that's where they have the breakthrough, because in this letter she states she's going away. She's going to go to Yorkshire.
Okay.
She wants to go to Yorkshire for her health. it would transpire that a woman named Mrs. Teresa Neal, Nancy Neal is the mistress's name.
Oh.
Arrived at the Swan Hydropathic Hotel in Harrogate.
Okay.
Yorkshire.
Taking the waters.
Checking the waters. Just after Agatha's disappearance, Mrs. Neal turns up. She says she's from South Africa. She has no luggage. But she settles into the spa, and this is a good spa. You know, she has money on her. She's able to pay, and they pride themselves in their discretion. They're going to look after their guests. Their guests are cold patients, actually, because they're going to take the waters. They're going to have a rejuvenating treatment. She had been out shopping for outfits, quite content, being very pleasant to everyone in the dining room in the evening.
Nice.
Looks a bit familiar to some staff. One chambermaid is like, this really looks like the woman who's in the paper. Gets it upon herself, like, maybe I should tell the police. Apparently the manager stopped her, saying,
no,
these people deserve their discretion. So
it. Okay, good for
that
manager.
may be an apocryphal story, but that why she wasn't reported. But apparently they were like, no, leave her be.
Leave her be.
Which I like. Eventually, though, the police received reports from many, many other people who were at the hotel going, it's her. Oh, shush, 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 including the banjo player from their hotel's house band, the Happy Hydro Boys.
Oh, the Hydro Boys.
Oh, the Hydro Boys. She loved the band. They had taken note of the woman who was apparently from South Africa sitting there tapping her foot each night and would get up and dance. Nice. Dancing, she enjoyed their music. She loved dancing the Charleston not well. They made that point that she was bad at it.
But she was having a nice time.
How bad was she, though, that they had to say that? Okay. She used to dance the Charleston. Wasn't good.
I mean, Charleston's not an easy dance. It's quite energetic.
But she was giving it her all.
She's giving it her all. Fling yourself about, love. Have a good
She was having a good time, but I like the fact that went on record.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Leave her. She's suffered enough, for God's sake.
She's just having a nice time in Yorkshire.
So the police have the tip-off. Finally. The police and Archie travel to the hotel on the 14th of December. The police are like, husband, you go in and talk to her. She'll want to see you. You'll be the calming presence, because if she is hysterical, as women
tend to be,
you'll be the calming presence. He's like,
maybe not.
But he does. The police are waiting outside, and also the press have gotten enough wind, and they're outside as well. But Archie goes in, and loads of people have sort of written the scene. As Agatha would describe her life in her own autobiography. She wrote it in literary terms, like she was writing a novel. She sort of used that, as people have said, as defense mechanism. It's incredibly evocative. But many other people have been inspired by it, and they sort of paint this picture of the husband standing in the lobby, and she descends down into she's got wearing a beautiful burgundy gown.
Down the stairs.
Fantastic. Down the stairs, or I don't know if there was a lift or anything, or a horse or something like that, like Phantom. And she comes down and she clocks her husband and is just sort of passive. And he turns to the police detective there and he nods. It's like, it's her. And he goes over to her, and the police come over, and she's like, yep, Looks at Archie, like, fine, let's not make a scene. And they go into dinner together. She's like, well, I'm having dinner. Archie goes in with her. She sits down at the table. She introduces him to the other guest there as her brother. Really pointedly does that. Like, oh, this is my brother. And he's like...
like it.
And they sit and they dine. Informal, don't make a fuss. Don't make a fuss. The police and press are waiting outside. She's like, okay, fine. She's whisked away. Archie speaks to one journalist and he says, yes, it is my wife. She has suffered a complete loss of memory. I do not think she knows who she is. I'm hoping to take her to London tomorrow to see a doctor. Case closed. It's all over the press the next day. But yes, all over the press. Yeah, Novelists found, Agatha Christie found. It's front page, huge pictures and everything of her. Nicely summarised again in Lucy Worsley's book. Goddard in Berkshire, very, very smug. Because so he's the one who's been around like Agatha Christie's household, and he focused on like issuing missing person notices
rather than searching the entire of Surrey.
he issued them far and wide, and that was the thing, because people saw it. Reward, nice reward there. Okay, fine. And he's like, that worked. Kenwood, who's standing in what's left of Surrey, because he's dug it all up.
Been bulldozed the rest of it trying to find her.
He's like, well, I had to take every precaution. Now a lot of press are looking at him going, why did you do this? Why did you spend all of the resources this county has? It's like, well, I was just checking. And Arthur Conan Doyle was like, you see, I told you, the psychic said she'd be back before Wednesday. What day is it? Never mind. The pair would get away from the hotel, head to a sister's house in Cheadle. They are hounded by the press, of course. And they want answers. Now that they've said the mystery has been solved, they want to know why she's disappeared. Why on earth had she disappeared? Why has she caused all of this outrage? It's her fault that the police have... Well, it's a bit like that guy down in Surrey. He shouldn't have done as much as he did. But why has she caused all this fuss? What has been... And we demand to know. We don't want any of this sort of mental health sort of thing. No. Answers. A fugue state? That's not a thing.
That's not a real thing.
That's not a thing. People are kind of going, you heard of shell shock? Really? Honestly? No, we don't like that. We don't. At the time, they were like, no. Whatever nice feeling had been shared after the initial headlines, it was now time to really start throwing more accusations. She must have done this for the publicity. She wasted time and resources knowingly to get more attention from her books. She wanted to imply her husband was guilty of her murder. Things weren't right in the marriage. That is the big theory that goes around. She used his mistress's name to check into the hotel. Was this all a ploy to make him sweat, make him suffer?
And that's fair.
For what he had done to her. There were newspaper articles a couple of years later. It was really weird when I was sort of searching in the archives for stories about Agatha Christie. I found a couple which were referencing these crimes that were just, they were cons, they were nothing to do with this case. But I found this passage with a judge referring to a defendant saying, you remember the famous Agatha Christie hoax from a couple of years ago where she did some foolishness played on the police. They were calling it a hoax. 2 years later. They were implying that she'd either done it for publicity or were trying to blame her husband. It was said for years that she never spoke about what happened. Most of the resources you see online as well will say that she never spoke about it. She referred to it very briefly, this loss of memory, and no one's really satisfied with it. But she did talk about it. Lucy Worsley, in her book, other writers have mentioned it. She gave an interview to the Daily Mail in February 1928. She gave this interview, and I was looking for the original article, but I've got the resources from respected historians, and that was what I went with, where she talked about her memory loss, and she did give detail. She talked about that she had an idea of driving out to end everything. She said she could not recall exactly where she went. She was known for going on long drives. When she got upset, she had reached the point near the quarry in the car. I'm summarising here, but she let go of the brake and she let the car run. And it happened to hit a stop.
Right.
Hit the verge.
Yeah.
Whacked her head on the steering wheel. That was the blood. If it hadn't hit that, it would have gone over the side.
Over the edge.
So, at this point, she left the car. She still maintains she doesn't remember everything. She ends up in Waterloo train station. She's gotten on a train. She has a handbag with money in it, but she's left everything else behind. She would go to a department store. She went there to tidy herself up. She paid her way. She sent the letter to Archie's brother. And then she says she's going to the spa in Yorkshire. She's already knows about that spa. She's like, I'm going to go there. Gets on a train, goes. She makes her way. She invents the new persona.
Yeah, the South African lady.
Teresa Neal of South Africa. Give her the privacy and peace that she wanted. So she did detail the things that happened. Yes, there is this memory loss, that she's not in a great state of mind. She doesn't talk about it massively afterwards. She doesn't go into huge detail in her autobiography. She mentions it in passing and in very sort of, she writes about it in sort of novelization sort of way, very vague. There were witnesses as well of two men who saw her. Her car broke down apparently before she abandoned it once before, and she asked for their help to start it up. So they'd seen her.
Yeah.
This information was available. So she'd spoken to it, but over the years, it doesn't really serve the sensationalism of the story. So it just this perpetuation of that she never spoke about it. She was really secretive. And I thought that as well, is that she never spoke about it until you look at it and go, there's an entire interview that she did. She was the subject of a conspiracy theory for nearly 100 years now. It is. It's nearly 100 years, which is scary to think of. People chose to view her behaviour as cunning, calculated and attention-seeking, rather than what it was, the actions of a woman in the pits of depression and incredibly unwell. You only need to look at fleetingly at the facts of the story that are out there, that are widely available, to see how much strain she was under. She may not be perfect and should be criticised for her prejudices that she expressed in her life, but there's no need to sensationalise a possible mental breakdown.
Absolutely.
I mean, a probable mental breakdown. Some people still have thoughts and feelings about her motivations, but the incident did not hurt her career.
Well, no, it didn't. This is very true.
She literally became the greatest selling writer of all time. And she excelled after that. She would, again, this moment in her life, people say, if you think about a lot of Agatha Christie books, the dashing, lovely, wealthy husband, doesn't he turn out to be a bastard a lot of the time?
Yeah, true enough.
The villain, don't trust the glamorous man. No. She divorced Archie 2 years later. She got custody of her daughter. She continues to write a book a year. She travels the world. She has a huge amount of money because she is earning shitloads from her book. So she's like, okay, I'm fine. Yep. She will travel on the Orient Express. She will go to archaeological digs that will all inspire her books. She sketches. She's in Iraq and she's sketching the sites, and she meets Max Malawan. And he's 13 years younger than her. But they fall deeply in love. He is a lovely man. They stay married until she dies. She would later say, an archaeologist is the best husband a woman can have. The older she gets, the more interested he is in her.
Like it.
She is reportedly much happier in her second marriage. In her later life, she buys many houses. She writes prolifically. The sales keep coming in. She creates Miss Marple later on. She has Poirot. People think that Marple's based on her. Most experts think it's Ariadne Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
Is actually supposed to be. That's her writing herself. Even the then Queen Mother, Queen Mary, said for her birthday she wanted a new Agatha Christie story. And she wrote Three Blind Mice, which became The Mousetrap.
Yeah.
And still is going. Still is going. Forever. That play, she wrote it. She would become Dame Agatha Christie. In 1976, she passed away, aged 85. After her death, her two final books, which she originally wrote in the Second World War, The End of Miss Marple and Poirot, she wrote those in advance because she was worried that she might be killed in the Blitz. Right. She didn't know what was happening.
So she got the ending.
She got them out there. So she saved them, and then after her death, there we go.
Nice.
Those are the ending. But that is the story.
That's a very good story.
Of the disappearance.
Yeah. So I knew very little about that.
Yes.
I knew she disappeared, but I didn't know any of the details behind.
It's a really interesting one. I was like, when you delve into it a bit more, and luckily we've got great historians and writers who've covered it. And it's funny that I was lucky to have the Lucy Worsley book and a couple of other resources, but really loads of the stuff online, it still uses that thing that she didn't talk about it, that she didn't say these things. Most of them now lean towards she had a breakdown, and she wanted, and she was so unhappy, and these awful things had happened to her all that year. Yeah. But still want to go, nah, she plotted it. It was
all a scheme.
I mean, so some people may still land on that side of things, that she was so broken and upset going, okay, I'm going to Gone Girl this shit. Yeah. I'm going to blame my husband. I'm going to make it look like he has killed me. Yeah. Until the jig's up.
Yeah.
And maybe she did.
But no, I think it's probably more likely than yes.
Just got fed up and
just
wanted to go.
Fed up. Yeah, just wanted to go, absolutely. And who the hell would blame her?
Yeah.
To be honest. And it wasn't unusual for Leave the Children with the staff or whatever.
Yes.
So that was not uncommon that thing would happen. So she would have been perfectly normal for her to just to go off and do her own thing.
And there were lots of books written in the subsequent years, male writers, I think, predominantly. There may have been female writers in there, but they were sort of all stating as fact that she did it for publicity. Yeah. And also making assumptions about the fact that she left her daughter when that wasn't an uncommon thing, that her daughter was being cared for.
It's not exactly she left her daughter by herself in a house with with a loaf of bread, and that was it. Yeah. No, there's staff there who are going to look after her and looked after her many, many times in the past. So,
exactly. And she got custody of her daughter later. So yeah.
No, so I think that's a nonsense.
So all of that. Apparently Archie and Nancy did marry, and they were married for the rest of their lives. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was said to be a serial philanderer, but he didn't act very well in that situation. And also did whatever he could to cover his own back. If he was panicking, I don't really care. But you're just happy talking to the press, going, well, no, she may have done this to herself, rather than please don't look at the letter she wrote me, and please don't. I'm not going to talk about my mistress.
Yeah. But of course, he's going to protect his own arse, isn't he? So. But very good.
But there you go. That is the story.
Lots of new things.
There we are. Well, what do you think, people? What do you think of the disappearance of Agatha Christie? We know there's a lot of big Agatha Christie fans out there. What side do you land on? What theory do you land on? We know that obviously this is a woman suffering a lot, had a terrible, terrible year. Do you think she was trying to set up her husband?
Yeah.
You can be in that state of mind and kind of go, Nah, fuck you. I mean, she was smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
She
could have.
Did she do that? Do you land on that idea? Do you land that this was just her going, can't, I'm off?
Don't want to deal. I'm going away. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's other theories. Maybe aliens. Were there aliens?
Aliens.
Was she taken by aliens? Was it a bigger conspiracy theory than that? It wasn't a hoax.
No, it definitely happened.
Yes, it happened, but it wasn't like, ha, 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 her trying to do... Well, maybe you think that. Maybe you think it was a hoax. Yeah. Tell us what you think. Jump on the comments of this episode. Share your thoughts, your feelings, your musings. But most importantly, why not mix up a love and murder?
Love and murder. It's gone down a treat.
It was surprising.
Surprisingly tasty. And I'm glad we ended on a good one.
We did end on a good one. And a revelation, clearly. It was like a Poirot denouement.
Yes.
And secretly, the ingredient was chartreuse. Chartreuse. It's not exactly Belgian, but it's fine. A really nice cocktail. So maybe some of you, it's a simple one. If you've got the ingredients, mix it up. We will look into some of Agatha's stories and the crimes that inspired them in the break that we have over on Patreon. You may want to weigh in and say, oh no, cover this fictional story. It'll be fun. So you can let us know. But yes, this is the end of season 5. We will be back for season 6 with bags more stories and material and all sorts of things. You can always send us suggestions of more episodes. You can send us shout outs to do for the future. Please join us on Patreon if you want to support this show, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast, because it really, really helps. Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisoner's Cabinet. We will see you for season 6. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.
Bye.